Hello, good evening. More and more of us are falling for scams online, with cybercrime costing the UK economy billions of pounds. Police forces in Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire have reported big rises in the number of cases in the last year. Anna Todd has been finding out how the criminals operate and who is most vulnerable.
The internet has helped this small company go from strength to strength, but it's also had a more sinister impact. Cybercriminals sent an email purporting to be from the MD, asking an employee to make a bank transfer.
And she said to me, Ben, I've done the transaction you asked me to do, but they asked for a long reference number and I couldn't fit it all in, so I've condensed the reference number. And it was that point I said, Caroline, what are you talking about? At that point, obviously, it was she went white, and I did the same, and then we called the bank straight away.
£26,000 gone in seconds. Cybercrime is on the rise. In Bedfordshire in 2015, almost 1,200 were reported, rising by almost 50% in 2016. Cambridgeshire saw a 20% rise, 300 in 2015, 370 reports the following year. So how do the bad guys do it? They target randomly, known as phishing, and specifically known as spear phishing. One way is through ransomware, where victims believe they have to pay a fine, perhaps to a seemingly legitimate organisation, to free up their files.
It's possible that big organisations are now treating this type of ransomware as just a cost of doing business. And if you consider that the average amount they're paying out is around £13,000, and for big organisations it could be £25,000 or more, this is clearly a big problem.
Layer 8 supports police forces nationwide. They say this is a modern-day crime.
We've recently held a conference with the Eastern Regional Organised Crime Unit, who have got a department specifically dedicated to cybercrime. But some of their stats are really worrying. They said they'd seen over 2,000 hacks on Eastern region companies this month, and that's probably not all of them, because a lot of them won't have been reported.
This Cambridgeshire company was lucky, money back within 4 months, but they say the criminals continue to try their luck every single week.
So how can we stay one step ahead of the hackers? Our reporter Wasim Mirza has been trying to find out. Wasim.
Well, Claire, tonight cybercrime experts from across our region have been meeting in Cambridge to try and find new ways of tackling the problem. We spoke to the Police and Crime Commissioner for Cambridgeshire, Jason Ablewhite, who said the figures are just the tip of the iceberg.
We are driving this agenda forward. We're getting those key messages out, how people can protect themselves by all of these sort of methods that we use all the time. And frankly, I think going forwards, this is going to be seen as probably the biggest growth in any crime of a generation.
Well, when it comes to fighting back, there is the feeling that perhaps it's not just technology alone that could eliminate the problem. There are those like the Bedfordshire-based security group Layer 8 who believe people are the best form of defence against hackers and online attacks.
To keep up with these vulnerabilities, what we need to do is educate on the types of emotions, the types of tactics a hacker will play to give people the ability to deal with any type of crime that comes their way.
Well, there's a number of things which can be done. You can start by changing your password every few months. Use a completely different password for every website that you visit. Enable what's called two-step verification. It's like having another layer right on top of your password. You can also make sure that you never reveal your password to anyone. And use special characters like an exclamation mark. And you can get more advice on all this and more by going to the BBC WebWise site. That's over on bbc.co.uk/webwise. Claire.
Wasim, thanks very much.